Too busy glistening, glistening in. Why you ain't listen then, listen back then. Now you too much, too little, yeah, too late.
So I'm going to start off by using my Benefit Professional's Pearl Primer. You want to make sure you're buffing this into your skin really well. I absolutely love this primer because it gives you more of an illuminating look. However, they do have a matte and a hydrating formula from the same primer. But I happen to like the Pearl just a little bit more. It just gives me a baby soft, blurred out look to my skin. As you can see. Ta-da! So with my Huda Beauty Full Filter Foundation and my Morphe sponge, I'm going to go ahead and buff my foundation out. What I love about this foundation from Huda Beauty is you don't need a lot of pumps. 1 to 2 pumps will get the job done, honestly. It's super full coverage. I love the pigment on it. As you can see, it's high pigment. Although this foundation is darker than my skin tone, for my face, as I put it on, you can see that it kind of blends in with my skin well. Once I highlight, contour, bronze, and all that jazz, is going to even out. Next, taking my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Deep. Absolutely love this concealer to the death of me. As you can see clearly, I'm running low and I need to re-up. This is the only reason why I go to Ulta, and I cannot wait for this quarantine to be over so I can go re-up on my faves. So next, with my Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer from NYX, which is only $5.99. Can't go wrong. I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight my skin. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram too. I'm low-key kind of litty on the gram. I'm just saying. So you want to let that dry before you blend it out. And as you blend it out, you want to make sure that you're looking up so you do not miss any of the creases underneath your eyes. You want to make sure everything is blended out to perfection. I actually have a mirror like right under me, so that's why you see me looking down, making sure everything is right, and I'm always looking up as I'm blending it out. For my forehead, I try not to take it out too far because my forehead is pretty big on its own, so it doesn't need any help to look bigger. So next is my Infallible Full Wear Concealer from L'Oreal. I'm going to use that to highlight even more and give it more of a brighter, luminous look underneath the eyes. Sometimes I'm a little bit extra, but hey. And as you can see, I am using a mixture of high-end and also drugstore products, so pay attention to the prices. Because I had a little bit of extra concealer on my skin and on my sponge, I just used a napkin to kind of like buff, kind of like, you know, squeeze that out a little bit more. With my Airspun loose face powder, only $5.97. Girl, what? I am so mad that I slept on this product for so long. I'm so happy though that I did try it. 2020. I actually had a haul where I did a makeup shopping type of extravaganza at Walmart, and I actually picked this up and I never used it since then. Never opened it or anything like that. As you can see, I am baking a lot. Well, to you it may be a lot, and yes, I said my skin is dry. However, if you prep your skin right, and my skin is combo dry, so at any moment it can get oily. So this is how I like to do my makeup. Now, if you feel like you're like flaky dry and you just cannot with the powder, just skip this process or add extra moisturizer or setting spray. Dust your shoulders off. We don't need the extra haters. So with the STALK'R Instant Warmth Bronzer from Fenty Beauty in the shade Cocoa Naughty, I'm just going to use that to warm up my skin, the outer perimeter, my jawbone, cheekbones, the shipping, you know, the trail. And I like this color because it's warmer and it's not too much of a cooler tone bronzer. Sometimes the cool tone bronzers, if you just go in with that first, it looks very unnatural. And I'm a woman of color and I shouldn't have any gray. I shouldn't have no gray on me unless I'm ashy. So with my Bare Pro Pressed Foundation Powder now, I'm just going to go in and even out my skin tone. So I like to take this powder to add color and also to merge the contour and highlight together. So that way it's not just boom, boom, pow, ew, highlight contour, you know, it's like a nice blend. So it's my LA Girl Pro Contour Powder. Only $5.95, guys. I'm going to use that to define my forehead area, my jawline, my cheekbones. This is a little bit more cooler tone, and I don't use a lot of it. Notice I'm using a fan brush because I only want it in like a specific area. So with the Caramel Cutie STALK'R Bronzer from Fenty, I absolutely love this for my nose area. This is one of those products where you only buy it for one specific thing. You don't use it for anything else but just that one thing. This is that, because this one is warm enough to define my nose and my skin, but not dark enough to make it look unnatural. I'm just defining my nose here with the extra powder. With the same powder brush I use for my face foundation powder, I'm just buffing off that extra powder and making sure everything's even. And now it's time for brows. Ooh, ooh. Brush your brows through now with a clean spoolie. Make sure all the product is out of there, so that way you have an even brow. With the Dip Brow Pomade Gel in Soft Brown, I'm just going to use that to brush through the brow hair. I already have hairs on my brows, so the reason why I use this is so it can define the hairs you already have. That way you end up using less of your brow pencil product. Now with the Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit in the shade number 4, I'm going to use that to define the areas that the first product did not. So basically, the first product is going to coat the hairs I already have. This pencil is going to fill in the hairs that I don't have. So basically, with the pencil, I'm just drawing the shape of the brow that I desire, like if I had hair in those specific areas. And I like this pencil because you can do the hair-like strokes towards the front of the brow. You can make the tail pointier. It's just amazing, honestly. I'm upset that it's $25, but I would gladly pay the $25. So I'm just making hair-like strokes towards the front of my brows now and brushing it through with the spoolie. Next, with my MAC concealer. Fuck is my MAC concealer? In my Nicki Minaj voice. The Prolong Wear MAC Concealer in NC45 hands down is my favorite shade from MAC Concealer. I get this shade in any of the MAC concealers specifically for my brows. I only use this shade for my eyebrows. I don't use this shade for anything else other than that, or if I'm going to clean up my wing liner if I do mess up. This color specifically is perfect enough for my skin tone. Not the exact same where it looks a little bit dark if I were to put it in some areas, but it's literally like perfect. I could put this anywhere on my skin if I wanted to touch up and clean up, and it would blend tremendously without any problem. And that's what I like. If there's any brushes that you guys want me to list down below, or you want to know what brushes I'm using, just comment down below and I'll get back to you. So with a separate brush, I'm just buffing out my concealer from my eyes now. And with the 3D brow tones from Benefit, I'm just brushing that through my eyebrows because that's going to give me a more of like that hair-like look. You know how like hair on your brows are a little bit more shiny? This is going to do that for you. Highly recommend. And this is how you get basically a brow with texture. And I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. One brow is filled and one brow is not. Big difference. With the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, I'm using that as an eyeshadow primer. And I'm going to buff it in with the same brush I used to buff out my eyebrow concealer. And notice that I am patting and blending. I am not wiping back and forth. So I'm almost lifting and patting. That way the product stays in place and you're not getting a patchy brow. Some people feel like you can't put cream on top of powder, which you can. You just have to know how to blend it out. You want to tap it. Next, with my Amrezy and Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'm so excited for this one. Okay, grab your palettes, guys. And now we're going to take the shade New Yorker. New York. Fun fact, I was actually born in Queens, New York. Southside Jamaica, Queens. What's good? But I do not have a New York accent because I was raised in Trinidad. Both of my parents are Trinidadian. I am Trini to the bone. At the end of the day, I'm also from New York. So it's crazy. I don't say I'm from New York because I never grew up there. I don't have that accent. So with this shade, I'm basically building it up. And what I love about the Anastasia shades, you can take one shade, build it up to its capacity, and it can literally look like 4 shades that you put on your brow, your eyelid, sorry. So next with 1988, I'm using that in the crease, outer crease, and buff that into, you know, outer lid and buff it into my crease, basically. I'm not taking it past my crease area because I'm going to use this next shade, OG, to do so. So the OG is going to go in between that crease and the brow color to give it a gradient transition. That way you don't have, you know, patchy shades. With my Ride or Die Glitter Glue Glitter Shadow Primer, you won't catch me slipping without this, especially if it's glitter or shimmer. And I'm going to buff that in with my fingers as well. So I use the brush to place it and then buff it in with my fingers. So that way, when you do place your eyeshadows, you're not getting a harsh type of color application. So with this shade now, the shade is called Cupcake. It's like a lavender, pinky purple. Honestly, all the shimmer shades in here are exceptional. So this palette is definitely recommended. I can see myself using this palette every day, honestly. To be honest, I might just do another look with this. Like my next tutorial might just be with this palette once again. So with Cupcake, I'm just focusing that more on the inner corner of my lid towards the outside. But I'm not bringing it fully towards the outside. I'm keeping it more in the center. And you want to make sure you're dragging back and forth, kind of buffing that out as you're placing it. So next is Sema, right? Or Sisma? Sisma or Sema? Sisma. How do you pronounce that shade? I'm going to use that now. It's like a plummy, purpley magenta type of color. I'm going to use that in between the Cupcake shade and the outer corner shade. I'm going to bring that into the crease. Once again, we're creating an ombre type of look, a gradient type of eyeshadow look, lighter on the outside, darker on the inside. And as you can see, I really didn't use too many brushes. I only used 3 eyeshadow brushes. This brush is the same brush I used Cupcake with. Now I'm going to put on Yugo. Yugo is a brownish, purplish shade, and I'm using just a little bit. I'm not using a lot. I'm just tapping into it just lightly so I can have some depth on the outer corner. Next, with the shade Wasted and a pointy eyeshadow brush, I'm just gonna pop that on my brow bone. Like I said, this Wasted shade is something else, okay? It is shimmery but matte at the same time. It gives it like an illuminating type of color to the brow bone, but it's not to the point where it's so shiny and bright and white. I don't know how to describe it, but you guys got the shade down pat. This is what your eyes should look like. If you did want to add any color to the bottom of your lids, go ahead, girl. Like, don't let me stop you. I just don't like eyeshadow at the bottom of my lid, but be my guest if you like to. With my Superhero It Cosmetics liner, this is my shoe. This is my jam. This eyeliner, honestly, hands down, in my top 2. I don't have a top 5, I have a top 2. And it's this eyeliner and the Too Faced Better Than Sex eyeliner. I can't live without you guys. And I'm done. So now you want to put on some mascara. This is from Tarte. It's their Lights Camera Lashes mascara. Tarte is a vegan brand, hypoallergenic and gluten-free. Most of their products are made free of parabens and phthalates, so that is also good. Anyone with eye irritations or anything like that. The lashes I'm popping on is from Lollipop Links, and they're in the style Georgia Peach. They do not have this style anymore on their website. I just went on there to check. But they do have a bunch of other like dope styles that are super cute and definitely worth the purchase. They also have wigs, extensions, and things of that sort. Look at my dumb ass. Look what I did. I don't even know why I did that. Like, that was so dumb of me. I'm just so into, you know, getting this beat down, and I pop it in the wrong area. I put it in my lash group, which is so stupid. So now I'm just gonna put some mascara on, buff out my powder, make sure all that is removed from my face, all that excess. Next, with my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, only $16. This is why I don't mind powdering my face, because this right here gives me a nice hydrated look. Now after I spray my face, I'm going to highlight with my ColourPop Super Shock Cheek Highlighter. This is a cream highlighter. I like to cream highlight always before I powder highlight. Never gets old. It's something I've always liked doing. It just gives it a nice highlighted look. It just gives like an extra pizzazz. Don't know how to explain it, but it's just good. Down the nose, I take that and I do the same thing. So first I highlight in the same areas I would highlight with the cream, and I would go back in with the powder just to set everything. So think about it like foundation and powder. With my Whisper of Guilt highlighter from MAC. This one is limited edition. They only bring this out for the holidays. I repurchased this only because I lost my makeup bag and then Uber once, and I never got the highlighter shade back. It was in a holiday collection and I never got it back, so I repurchased it. I'm just now going back over with my nose brushes, the same one I used to contour and the same one I used to highlight. I'm just gonna touch up my nose, make sure everything's nice and snatched. More mascara because you just can't get enough. You want to make sure everything's nice and blended, especially for the bottom, the top lashes. Everything's looking good. With my sleek blush, this is in the shade Sahara. This is a orangey brownish type of blush, which is also so bomb and it's inexpensive at that. Putting on more of my Super Shock Cheek highlighter for the inner corner. And then I'm going to set that highlighter that I put down with the same shade Wasted. As you can see, the shade Wasted, it definitely brightens the inner corner like times 10. It's white but champagne at the same time. I feel like it's kind of friendly for all skin tones. Like, I wouldn't even say like this is not black girl friendly or this is not this girl friendly. I feel like this shade could kind of go with anyone, especially if you like that bright inner corner highlight. And I like that it has like that frosty look to it, like at the bottom. I absolutely love that. To me, that's everything. So with the all-nighter setting spray, which is actually on sale now for $19, originally $33 for this full-size bottle. So get your hands on it because I absolutely love it. More Whisper of the Guilt because why not? The more highlighter, the better. The closer to God, right? Now time for our lip color. I was feeling cute right here, you know. With my Lime Crime Velvetine Lip Liner in the shade Bittersweet, I'm just going to go ahead and line my lips with that. Lime Crime, MAC, Too Faced, Anastasia, Smashbox. I feel like they all have like bomb lip products, to be honest. And I absolutely love this lip liner. I love NYX lip liners, these right here, and the MAC lip liners, to be honest. And I'm all done. So now I'm going to pop on some liquid lipstick. This one's from Anastasia, and it's in the shade Dusty Rose. I'm going to go ahead and blend it out with my fingers. Make sure everything is nice and, you know, popping. Next, to top it off, I'm going to take Burnt Spice. It's from the MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lip Colors. It's like a pinky nude, but I'm going to put that right in the center. Not using too much, and there we have it. We are all done. You want to take your headband off, do your thing, get real cute. If you guys love this tutorial, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate your support, and have a good one.